Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. I got 3 words for you. Just going to start this out different because I need to see your reaction. 3 words. Well, actually, 1 word in the name. Sleeper. Lamar Miller. Go.
The words sting my ears.
So you don't agree?
Well, I didn't say that necessarily.
Just think about it.
No, I know. He's
a starting running back.
He has dipped far below.
He's a starting running back. His backup's coming off an Achilles injury. You don't just recover from Achilles injuries very easily, do you? Lamar Miller's currently 25th in the rankings. I mean, that seems slightly sleeper-ish in a way now. Don't you think?
I mean, I think it's actually pretty good value for him at that point.
Right? Yeah.
Compared to where he has been in the past.
You don't know what to say because you're
really
terrible.
I really do dislike that player. I just always have. I always thought he was overhyped. But
he's not hyped at all anymore.
No, he's not hyped at all.
He even just completely not. I mean, okay, Foreman looked good in his final game before he got hurt, but he had an Achilles injury. I mean, I guarantee he's going to be ready to go. You know, there's absolutely no guarantee he's ready to go this season. Who do they have other than that? I mean, think about this. You got Lamar Miller, who is going to be the main back in an offense run by Deshaun Watson. I mean, come on. I'm making you think here, Jeff.
I'm struggling with this one because on one hand, you're absolutely correct.
Any other player in this situation, you would right now be like, yeah.
He is very low. Lower than he should be for being a starting running back. And yes, even though I like Devante Foreman, he is coming off an injury. We don't really know. Their offense should, obviously with Watson behind center, should, be good. Maybe it won't be quite as dynamic as it was for this first, whatever games before he got hurt. But on this side of it, Miller was not good last year. Like, he truly fell off a cliff.
Okay, but he was better when Deshaun Watson was the quarterback, right? He was better. Okay, maybe not.
I actually don't know.
Okay, he wasn't.
I would have to look at.
He was. I guess you could say he did have his. Let's see here. His top 4 rushing outputs. There were top 4 rushing games with Lamar or with Deshaun Watson out there. Not special. 75 yards, 74 yards, 65 yards, 61 yards. I know it looks ugly, but it's just a thought. It's just
with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns on the year. Yeah. I know. It's a rough one to start the episode with.
I mean, I totally get your point. If they had Devante Foreman, I would be probably chips all in, but you're absolutely right about his injury. I don't know. And Lamar Miller, man, I mean, what did he average last year? And it's not everything, but 3.7 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean,
it's not like the yards per carry. I mean, Melvin Gordon's never high in yards per carry. Le'Veon Bell wasn't yards.
This guy doesn't get short yardage situations usually either.
Maybe he will with Deshaun Watson now with a better offense.
Yeah,
there's nobody. If Foreman's not ready, I mean, who else do they got? Tyler Ervin, Alfred Blue. It's going to be Lamar Miller. He's guaranteed work. Almost like I don't think Foreman's going to be ready. I don't. That's a tough injury to come back from and to be good right away. I mean, I don't know. Just an interesting player that you might just be able to pick up especially because, okay, he's currently ranked about 25th, I believe. Because he's obviously, if you're down there, people are going to be picking the rookies. And he's actually ahead of Sony Michel, Royce Freeman. Those guys are going to go ahead of him. So he's going to be down there and just forgotten about. And you might be able to snatch him up as a bench player. A bench player who a bench running back who's going to get 15 carries a game with a dynamic quarterback. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I know.
I don't want to agree with you because
but any other player, you would.
I do. It is intriguing, without a doubt. I really have to. I will watch this one a bit carefully because he was so bad last year. If they had another option, another way to go, I think they would take it at this point. That's what worries me.
I mean, they could go sign like DeMarco Murray. What if they did sign DeMarco Murray? What would you?
Oh, then yeah, I would be down. I'd be all about it.
Yeah. Jamal Charles.
I don't know if he can even run.
He's visiting. Yes. Who was he visiting the other day? The Ravens or something?
Saints, right?
Yeah, a couple different.
Yeah, there's a bunch of running backs going to New Orleans, I believe, to work out.
Yep. Oh yeah, Terrence West was one of them.
Yeah, who wants to be behind Ingram and Kamara?
Yeah, why not?
Well, just Kamara for the first 4 games.
Yeah, that's Lamar Miller. I just say keep an eye out. Like he's one of those guys that's just completely overlooked right now. And I think he's better than Alex Collins. I'll just say that.
All right. I have my hate for Lamar Miller, but I'm pretty sure your Collins hate is starting to take over.
Would you draft Lamar Miller or Mark Ingram?
Mark Ingram.
Even with the suspension?
Even with the suspension.
Even with Kamara?
Yes.
Lamar Miller or Carlos Hyde?
Ooh. I do not know what is about to happen with that team.
Don't either, yeah.
My God, that is a tough one. I guess I guess I would go Lamar Miller there.
Lamar Miller,
only because
Tevin Coleman.
No, I would go Tevin Coleman on that one.
I'm on the Lamar Miller side.
I have a little bit of that for my heart, though.
Lamar Miller or Deion Lewis?
I mean, I guess my gosh, that is really, really, these are very, very tough.
Yeah, because it's just you. And also, are you trying to think right now, is your hatred for Lamar Miller blinding you from real value?
A bit. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like there's going to be more at play. I have this strange feeling that before the season starts, they're going to, some big news is going to come out. Like either they cut him or you find out Deontay Foreman is healthy and Miller is all of a sudden a backup that also doesn't produce. Yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, I wish I had Tevin Coleman. Yeah, I wish I had Carlos Hyde. Yeah, I wish I had all these guys. So that is kind of where my head's at. But if he was the starter, he's going to get 15 carries a game or whatever it may be, 12 to 15, then yes, he should be valued over a Carlos Hyde who has a 3 running back committee. Yes, he should be over a backup Tevin Coleman by a little bit. So, yes, you do have a good point, but I hate you for it.
Yeah, I thought I did. I just had to see what you thought. Okay, how about some other, we'll talk about some random guys here. This is just a kind of a free-for-all episode. We started by talking about Lamar Miller, so how about some guys, just some random player, because Lamar Miller is one of those guys that you're done with. Like, it's one of those guys that you're done with. You're not getting the guy on your team anymore. Is there anybody else like that out there that is just kind of, I'm done with you. I'm done. Can't draft this guy anymore. I just don't, no matter what, I just don't want this guy on my team.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to that point with
Jordan Reed.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Who's going to be the next guy? Yeah. And I've talked about it a lot, but even when he is healthy, and I'm doing air quotes, but even when he's healthy, he's just holding you ransom the entire time. You don't know if he's going to start, if he's not going to, so it's just not worth it to have it on my team.
Even with his better value right now being 11th ranked?
Yeah, I mean, he's intriguing there, but even there, I'm just off of it. And yeah. I realize there is value there. Don't get me wrong. If you want to take it, that's totally fine. But at the same time, I think that I can use that bench spot for someone else. And I don't know. And I just think there's no possible way he makes it through a season without getting injured.
It seems
the odds are so low
to believe, that he won't be able to.
And do I really? I mean, also that's kind of how I build my team. I rarely have a backup tight end to begin the year.
Yeah, I never do. Well, I might if Jordan Reed falls enough. Yeah. All right, what are some other guys?
Hold on, what about you? Has anyone just burnt the bridge so badly you're not going back to him? Or you just hated him from the get-go?
I don't feel like I have any hatred in my in my heart.
What about you? Literally just got done talking about Alex Collins.
I don't hate Alex Collins. He's just a guy I don't think is very good. I don't think he's very good. I just don't. I don't think he's a very good player. Honestly, I think, you know what? As much one of those guys that I can't draft, even though I like the player, is Amari Cooper. I'll say that it's because of his value, is where he's going in drafts. He's one of those guys that I can't ever have on my team. I'm avoiding. I was big on him last year. I still think he has potential to break out, but I'm staying away from the guy no matter what, in any situation. I can't find any way he's ever on my team, basically. I'll say that. Because I think he's talented, but his value's too high. Yeah, I mean, he's burned me in the past.
I look at some of these players that I think that they're ranked correctly, but what do you feel about someone like Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, he's not even on my radar.
Right, exactly.
I don't even think about drafting him.
Yeah,
that's the guy. Yeah. It's not even anything against Marshawn Lynch. It's just I don't care about Marshawn Lynch. I just don't care about him. I don't know. Like, he will never, if he's in the draft, like, I will go far. I'll go get Tariq Cohen. I will draft any of the Green Bay running backs. I don't know which one. I'll draft one of them. I don't even know. No one knows. It's Aaron Williams or Aaron Jones. Is it Jamal Williams? Who is it? Is it Ty Montgomery? I don't know. Who knows? I don't want Marshawn Lynch. I'll get anybody. I'll draft Duke Johnson, CJ Anderson probably. Man, I'm moving Marshawn down my ranks. The thing is, I'm not even ranking him like that. I'm ranking some of these guys below him because I do know he probably should be there. I just don't want him. I don't care. You're not going to be that good. So I don't care about you. I mean, I don't care about you, Marshawn. I'm sorry.
Especially wide receivers. There are a lot of them that I find just like that, which I love Marshawn as a player, but he will not end up on any of my teams. Yeah. I just don't think he would drop to a place where that's worth taking a shot. But like a Robert Woods, he will just never end up on my team because I just don't think about it.
That's the same thing. Emmanuel Sanders is like that to me now too.
Emmanuel Sanders, that's a good one.
I don't care about you, Emmanuel. I'm really sorry, but I just don't. I do care about Sammy Watkins, though.
But intriguing.
But if Sammy can't put together a season this year, he will become on my list next year of players that I will never touch.
Finally.
That's it.
Well, he finally dropped a bit to where I'm like, okay, I can see someone taking a shot at him. But for the past how many years, I've been just stay away from him, dear God.
Yep. I'm just putting Sammy on notice right now. Just, you got to perform this year.
I am sure he's listening.
Why wouldn't he? There's just, a couple of the guys like that. Say one of them for me, I don't know why, it's Cooper Kupp. I have this weird thing against Cooper Kupp.
There we go. That is a good one that you do have a little bit of hatred for.
I don't know why. I can't explain.
Because so many people love him, and we can't figure out exactly why.
I don't think he's like that good. He's good. He's a solid NFL wide receiver, but fantasy-wise, I'm not in love with the guy. I'm not. And there's not much I don't know. I'm not at all.
Yeah. He got a lot of love for being a third wide receiver on a team with a, growing QB. And he did fine. He was definitely worthwhile having. But it kind of played out in his favor, and I think people read into that a little too much. But he definitely has upside.
Okay, just talk about random guys. This is a good episode. Yeah. Do you have any interest in Jordan Matthews? He's another guy that's been kind of like one of those guys that's burned people for years.
He burned me a bit. I'm staying away from him as well.
Even if Edelman's not, if Edelman did get suspended, if he is suspended, Jordan Matthews is there.
Don't you have Malcolm Mitchell?
They have a million guys.
Yeah. It's intriguing, but my the possibility of someone that rose so quickly and then fell to like pick them out and say they still have it. That would be, I have to like fight against that urge to say, hey, he can be something again. Yeah. I really don't think he's going to be. So I will just stay clear. I would rather take a risk on. He's got to be so deep into the draft, though. I don't even know who I would take instead of him. But
Dante Moncrief.
Oh yeah, I would definitely take.
He's another one of those guys.
I would take a flyer on Moncrief over him for sure.
About one spot below Jordan Matthews right now. Jordan Matthews is 82nd. Brandon Marshall, 83rd. He's an interesting guy.
He is now. Yeah.
He's an overlooked guy even when he's, now shoot. I don't know what to expect. Is he the number 2 there? Again, he should be, right? Behind Baldwin. It's him and Baldwin, and then, Lockett out there.
Yeah. I mean,
is that what it's going to be?
Lockett would be someone that truly intrigued me, but he truly has burned me every year because he can't stay healthy. And yeah, I mean, you would think they're going to keep him on the outside. So he will be technically the number 2, you would think. I think that's going to be more about, formation than it actually is who is designated the wide receiver 2. But they throw the ball a ton. That running game, until I actually see that up and running, no pun intended, I will not trust that it's actually going to go anywhere. I have nothing against Penny, but man, they were so bad their line was so bad last year that they're going to have to throw the ball a ton. And in that case, Marshall could do some damage. I'm not saying that he's going to be a standout, but the fact that you can get him so late, who knows? Maybe we haven't quite seen the last bit of, that was in the tank. It sure looked like it, though. If I'm being completely honest, that last year was a debacle for him.
Or, yeah, who knows? I don't know. He's going to be, I don't think he's even drafted. I wouldn't think so right now. I think you would have to see something. Yeah, and what are the chances we're not going to see anything early on? So I don't know. Some interesting good news I just heard. I just saw a little thing about Chris Godwin making a lot of plays every day. Shined in minicamp. I talked about Chris Godwin a couple times, so just want to throw that out there again. Chris Godwin, remember him? I think he's gonna be better than Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson? There we go. Do you care about Deshaun Jackson at all? I
never have. He's not fantasy relevant to me. And I don't know. What do you think about that one?
God, I didn't care about him whatsoever.
I know. Some people really,
like
yeah,
Mike
some people
Wallace,
love him. But
I just remember that. Like, Mike Wallace. So those kind of guys, I just say avoid all of them.
Yeah, and there's always a possibility they could strike. But I would, the percentage that you put your pick somewhere else that will turn out better is really high.
Yep. All right, I just like talking about guys that have burned us in the past. How about Devante Parker?
I'm not off of his bandwagon quite yet.
I think still maybe something.
Yeah, and I think this year would be the one where we figure it out. Last year, Tannehill going down, they get Cutler, they release it or they trade Jay Ajayi. Like everything was getting tossed around in the beginning of that year, and he still has the size, still has the skill. They still talk relatively high about him. So I'm not saying I'm going to invest, a high draft pick in him, but I am very interested to see where he goes this year.
Yeah,
you've been a big supporter of him.
I'm higher, I think, than most on him yet, but I'm not overhyping him whatsoever. But actually, I'm not even. Never mind. I'm looking at his rank. He's 39th right now. People aren't completely forgetting about him. They're just not talking about him much. It's kind of a player.
If you got him as your fifth wide receiver, I think that's awesome.
I think so too. I think there's potential there. That's what I want to get with guys down here. So like Randall Cobb, my guy, who I like. Mm-hmm. Is there any interest in him, or has he just done it? He's sucked too many times.
No, I could see myself throwing him at the end of the bench. I'm probably not going to go out my way to target him like maybe you will. But yeah, there's definitely, it's intriguing now that Jordy is not there and Aaron Rodgers is obviously still there. It frees up some much needed targets that were going to Jordy. So interesting. Yes. I don't think he's going to return to, being anything spectacular, but I think he could turn into a wide receiver 3 or something.
Yeah. I just think if he's the second wide receiver with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, you got a shot.
Yeah, without a doubt.
How about Martavis Bryant? He's another interesting guy who we got hyped up last year, but obviously him and Roethlisberger weren't on the same page at all. They weren't. So can this guy's talent be used in Oakland, like with lining up with Cooper and Jordy? It's interesting. He's an interesting guy.
Especially with the way, I know, he really is. I would normally say no because he was in such a good situation and he just messed it all up. But if you were going to go to a team with a young quarterback, you have the size and all that skill. We know he can catch a lot of touchdowns. Normally, I would say, he's going to be a boom and bust guy. He'll have 1 or 2 weeks where he really does well. People will freak out, put him on their team. But the thing that makes me just a little bit hesitant to write him off completely is the fact that you have Jordy Nelson, who disappeared last year on that team, and Amari Cooper, who disappeared from his team last year as well. So you could have the opportunity to really shine, especially in the red zone, and make up points really quickly. With saying that, I probably won't have him on my teams, but I understand the thinking at least. What do you think about him?
Not terribly interested, I would say. I'm just too boom or bust for me. And I stay away from those kind of guys anyway.
Do you think he's going to have any impact whatsoever on Oakland?
I think it might be more for the other guys, really. If he just takes away some of the, it's just a outside threat where you have to at least respect it. I just don't think there's enough there for him necessarily to become an everyday, in every week fantasy value. So that's kind of why I think he's just going to help all the other guys maybe a little bit. Hopefully, I think he'll be on better page with his quarterback most likely. Just I can't see him not. If he's not, Gruden's not going to have him stick around. So he's still there as of now. So he must be doing something okay so far. But all right, let's see. Is there any other? Okay, I got a random question, even though I brought this guy's name up a little bit ago, because this shows how much I don't care about him. Who does Mike Wallace play for?
I was like, oh, Baltimore. And I was like, no, that's not right anymore.
Tells you how much we care.
Yeah, I didn't care about him last year either, to be honest.
I know. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling.
And he was fine last year. He actually put up some good weeks. But how old is Mike Wallace now?
I think he's 72. How old is Mike Wallace? He is now 31.
That's it? Man, I thought he was a little bit older.
God, he's younger than us, Jeff.
Oh, man.
I feel old.
Yeah,
he plays for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Eagles.
Did
you know that?
No, I truly did not.
If I'm asking the questions, maybe because I thought it was a little interesting. I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I forgot myself.
I truly was like, oh, yeah, Baltimore without a doubt. And then I realized that I forgot that they released him. I don't know. What do you think about that one? Obviously, we do not care about him.
No, I don't care about him.
But he has, wide receiver 3 on a team that throws a lot of touchdowns?
Yeah.
It's not out of, I don't know. Right now, this is my thing, I guess, when I talk about that. I know the Eagles score a lot, and this is completely a tangent. But right now, even Nelson Aguilar is very, very far down the list. People forget he did really well last year. They're not thinking it's a trend. They're thinking that it's a 1-year wonder because of how well they did offensively. They're worried about Wentz, all this stuff. If Nelson Aguilar is that low, you shouldn't even worry about Mike Wallace. And you should definitely grab Aguilar late, which would be a great flyer. Not even a flyer. He'd just be a great pick that late.
Yeah, he's kind of, where is he going right now? 45th. So, yeah, he's down there. He played really well last year. He really did.
Was he top 20?
I think so. I think he must have ended up around there.
I think he had 7-8 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was good. He really was. And he'll have, he's giving me a good offense with probably a top 10 running back, right? JJ? Yeah. So, I like his value. I say that where he's going to go, I think that's a very solid value for him. So I like that. Let's see here. Anybody else? Just random players to talk about for this episode? I don't really have many others. I'll just say, I just feel bad almost in a way. I just read a little report that Brashard Perriman has struggled with drops this offseason.
Oh, man. It just doesn't get better with
that
Perriman.
Guy. Yeah. One of those just never happened, and it won't happen.
Here's a question for you. Right now, Julian Edelman is ranked 33 as far as wide receiver list consensus ranking. If he actually was to be suspended for 4 games, which right now I'm thinking he won't be, but you never know. If he was suspended for 4 games, what does that do for his value? Is he worth picking up, or do you wait for waivers?
I don't think I ever cared about Julian Edelman before.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, he is. This is where people are going to start. Yeah.
This one, because he's that kind of guy that
he's also kind of like, he's very consistent. He's kind of like a less productive Baldwin, if you will.
Maybe, okay, I would throw him on my team for a minimal value in an auction kind of a thing. And maybe I'd stick it. But I'm terrible with that, where I get really impatient with my bench. And I would hate to have Julian Edelman on my bench for 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, I don't
know why, because he's fine. He's a good player. I don't know why I don't have this thing against Julian Edelman.
Well, I think that is we could almost have a different podcast for this one, but I feel like that is a very good point, though. And the way we talk about these guys is depending on how we build our teams as well. Yeah. So, actually, how do you think of it when you're filling up your team? This will actually be interesting to me, too. When you're filling it up, who you're actually looking for? Do you pretty much load up with, 2 guaranteed guys at every position, and then you fill in with what, like possibility, upside? What are you looking for?
I mean, I definitely, I'm early on, I'm definitely going sure things. Like, I'm not playing around. That is why I won't have Dalvin Cook on any of my teams this year. I get it. I know he's good, but it's, to me, not enough of a sure thing. I think I will avoid it. And same thing with actually LeSean McCoy. He becomes not a sure thing for me right now. So I avoid it, and that's why I'd probably go for somebody like Jordan Howard, who seems like a sure thing, as like a second running back. So I look for safety early. I just kind of want safety. And then, I always want to just mix a couple rookies in. Always. And then a couple guys. Then I'll get a couple, like a Randall Cobb, like a Marlon Mack, who've not Mike Williams. Some upside players who've been in the league maybe a year or a couple years. That's kind of, I've learned, I feel like, I used to get some of these other safer players later on too, but I feel like I don't use them. I don't care about them.
Yeah, and
I've started to realize, why do I don't want the veteran who I know doesn't have the upside.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about Julian Edelman, to get back to what we're talking about, right?
Like, I look at it maybe like a Pierre Garçon. He's okay, he's solid, he's going, and maybe you could say with the offense that people think is going to be better, maybe there's a little more potential, but I just don't see like top end potential for him. So I don't know. I don't have a use for a player like that on my team. And I'll rank him. I will probably get players that I'll probably end up getting a player ahead of him. Maybe that I ranked him ahead of them. But sometimes that might happen once in a while where I know that the chances of him outperforming the guy, even like Devante Parker. Chances are Pierre Garçon will outperform Devante Parker if you take percentage wise. But Devante Parker has that just so much higher ceiling that if it happens, it wins you a season kind of a thing. So Pierre Garçon's not going to win you a season. He's going to fill you. He's just going to be a solid role player, which at that position, he's ranked similar probably, I'm guessing, to, that's right. He's 3 spots ahead of Corey Davis. I'm getting Corey Davis every single time because that should be your wide receiver 3, not your 1 or 2. You should have a safe 1 and 2. And then you're going to go Corey Davis right there over Pierre Garçon, aren't you? Even though it's not ranked that way.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how those kind of things I'm always, if it's close enough, I'm going to probably go with not with the first round, obviously, first couple rounds, but later on, definitely need some youth on your team. You definitely have to get some kind of potential there because you don't know which one you're going to hit. Like last year, you got Alvin Kamara and wait around, and I tried to trade you for him, but that's the kind of players you don't get rid of early on.
No, yeah. And, well, there's also, a little bit of luck that that's what I thought. There was just too many backs in the backfield, so I thought maybe they would trade one.
Yep.
Most logical is, AP or Ingram. So, yeah, a bit of luck, but yeah, you go for talent, especially later on. Here's another name for you. What are you thinking about Robbie Anderson now?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I think the value on him, again, it's all about value, is actually pretty decent right now. Where you're not going to risk much of anything to get him on your team. I mean, where is he now? 40th? About 40th, probably? That's not bad.
40th.
Because he does have potential. That's for sure. No matter who's the quarterback, I think. If it's McCown, if it's Darnold. His legal issues seem to have cleared up. So I don't think there's a concern there. And he was pretty dynamic when he got an opportunity to. So, okay, he's around a similar spot of like a Jordy Nelson.
Yeah. So last year, this was with McCown, just to, preface it, he was 17th ranked wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Right now he's going for 40th. He still has McCown. Supposedly people think, Darnold should be as good. You never know that. I don't think so the first year, but
all right,
he's the number one wide receiver.
Here we go. Here's currently in the ranks. Emmanuel Sanders, Cooper Kupp, Jameson Crowder all ranked ahead of him. Mm. I think I want him over all three of those guys.
I think he's a very good value pick now.
Yep. Jameson Crowder is another one of those guys, but he's solid. He's just not going to find his way into my team. I don't think there's much potential there.
Yeah.
To really, his ceiling isn't terribly high. He's going to be a solid role player for you if that's what you need or that's what you want. But I don't want that anymore beyond my first couple, places, because I think you can get that kind of value anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because they were so bad. I mean, their offense really was just all over the place. Maybe, Alex Smith there, the guy, I feel like he could catch a lot of passes, so like in a PPR league, maybe he does hold some value still. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to, amp him up a bit because I feel like we're being too harsh on Crowder, but at the same time, he doesn't intrigue me enough. Where I just wouldn't put someone like that on my team.
Yep. All right, I think that's it I don't got anything more. I think that's about it for this episode of the podcast, which I don't know what this episode's titled. It's just an episode, but maybe you could just title it Lamar Miller. Right, Jeff? Lamar Miller.
No one's gonna click on that.
Great value. No, I will stay. His name will stay out of my out of the title, but just remember Lamar Miller and the fact that he is a starting running back with probably no competition that you can get in like the 6th or 7th round.
Either that or Deontay Foreman is being very undervalued. It's one or the other.
Or he's just hurt.
Yeah, that too.
All right, I think that'll do it. We'll talk to you guys next week.